Could a person say Kaddish for two different people? In the Tkuf of this Megefa was a relevant question. Many people couldn't say Kaddish because they didn't have minyanim and they were terribly distressed. And I've been saying Kaddish for various different people. Just yesterday I stopped saying Kaddish for a wonderful family. Father passed away during this period. He left 2 daughters, no sons, and they didn't have minyanim. So when I called to be Menachem Avel, and one of his daughters cried to me, I said, I will say Kaddish for your father. And I think it gave them a lot of comfort. This week they notified me that Baruch Hashem they have minyanim, so they're going to be taking care of the Kaddish. Close friend told me he's saying Kaddish for 62 people. Oh, that's nice. 62 people. So does it work? Could you say Kaddish for more than one person? 2 Gedolei Yodim going back hundreds of years deal with this question. Very earliest, the most important source is Chuvas Haranach, Siman Ayin Zayin. So Ranach deals with a person that was paid to say Kaddish for someone. The family paid him. Obviously, they didn't have anyone to say Kaddish. And then before the 11 months were over, his mother passed away. So he needed to say Kaddish for his mother. So that Ranach deals, could that same Kaddish? And he says, of course, it's okay. Zekorin echod oila lekan ulekan. Reb Naftali Katz was one of the greatest Mekabolim going back a few hundred years, and he wrote the Sefer Smichus Chachomim. In his Tzavoah, he talks to his children, and he says, I want you to say Kaddish for me for more than a year, and if your mother will pass away while you're still saying Kaddish for me, then say Kaddish for both of us. Ki ner le'echod ner le'meya. Both say the same, quoting 2 different Lashonos, and both are b'derech melitza. Zekoren echod oile lakan v'lakan. That's the Gemara in Eruvin. The Gemara asks, do we say Ya'ala v'Yoveh in Rosh Hashanah? Obviously, it's also Rosh Chodesh. The Gemara says, no, Rosh Hashanah you don't need to mention Rosh Chodesh because Zekoren echod oile lakan u'lakan. Where's the Lashon, the quote, ner le'echod ner le'meya? Twice. Shabbos Kuf Chav Beis. Goy shehidlik ner letzarkoi. A Jew could take advantage and derive benefit from that ner. Why? Didn't do it for you. Did it for himself. You might as well take advantage. Ner le'echod ner le'meya. And it's also a sugi at the very end of Masechet Trumas. A kohen is entitled lahadlik hasaner b'trumat tameya because you cannot eat trumat tameya. And if he put on the ner for his own needs, then a zar could be ner because ner le'echod ner le'meya. So both the Ranach and the Smichas Chachomim say you could say Kaddish for more than one person. Igris Moshe, and it's so typical of Moshe Feinstein. He's asked the same question and he quotes no one. Neither the Ranach who was Megedolei Poiskim nor the Smichas Chachomim. Typical of Moshe. He was the greatest sage of our time. The greatest sage of our time. My Talmidim and Koilel know that many times they say, no sefer me makes me feel small like the Igros Moshe, and there is not a sefer in which I'm choilek as much as I'm choilek on the Igros Moshe. How does that go together? No contradiction at all. He was the ultimate gadol. And just to see Reb Moshe plucking halachas out of Gemaras and Rashis and the Rishonim and totally skipping 500 years of Torah Shebal Peh is mind-boggling. It really makes you feel small. He's a giant. But on the other hand, in the Mesoros of halacha, most of our Gedolim didn't skip 500 years of Mesoros of Torah Shebal Peh, and that is unique about the Igros Moshe. But anyway, so the Moshe deals with the same shaila. V'pshitale, how could you say Kaddish for 2 people? Either it's for Pliny or for Armani. Lo kedivrei Haranach, lo kedivrei Asmichas Chachomim. So he says, if you're being paid to say Kaddish, then you need to say one Kaddish for Ploini, and the next Kaddish for Almoini, and the third Kaddish for Palmoini. And you need to notify the people paying you that they're just going to have one Kaddish a day. They're not going to have all the Kaddishim. That's the Moshe. Tzitz Eliezer, Chelik Zayin, Sememem Tes, he has somewhat of an argument on this very same Shaila with Rav Elyashiv. And Rabbi Eliezer Yehuda Waldenberg and Rav Elyashiv have a discussion about the same thing. But I want to say there's not necessarily a contradiction between Rav Moshe and the early sources. And this is where I want to voice my opinion. The Ranach just writes, Zikoren echad oile lekan v'lekan as a melitza ba'alma. But he bases his ruling on a halacha in Hilchas Taniyos. Tov Kuf Samach Asif Yud Aleph, the Mechaber Paskins, and the source is the Maharil and Simen Kuf Yud Ches, that a person was Makaber al Asmai to fast 2 days or 40 days, or Sheni v'Chamishi. Even if one of those days is a Tanas Tzibur, Oile lo ilakan o lakan. The fact that it's a Tanas Tzibur doesn't mean that it's not part of his neder. So if the same fast day could be Oile letanas Tzibur onto your personal Kabbalah, then why wouldn't the same Kaddish be Oile lakan o lakan? So my feeling is this. Both the Ranach and the Smichas Chachamim deal with a situation in which Kaddish number 2 was forced upon you, was imposed on you. So Ranach deals with a situation, somebody paid me money to say Kaddish for their mace, and then my mother passed away. I need to say Kaddish for my mother, so what do? So he said the same Kaddish is good for both. Would the Ranach say the same if I started saying Kaddish for a mother and then somebody offers me money to say Kaddish for his mother? I say no, it's not the same. When it's imposed on you, okay, this is what you do. But if you're saying Kaddish for your mother and you want to make money to say Kaddish for someone else, I do think it somewhat diminishes the Kaddish that your mother is getting. If the source is Hilchas Taniyos, to me it is clear that the Maril and the Shulchan Aruch deal with a situation in which a person was makaber al atzmai retzufim, mem yoim retzufim. So if one of those days is Shavuos B'Tammuz or Tisha B'Av or Asara B'Tevis, then do I need to add on another day? No. But if you're makaber Tanis, I take upon myself to fast. Could you fast on Tisha B'Av and be yoitzer your neder? Of course not. Of course not. If you're making neder to fast, it's an additional fast day. You can't wait for Tisha B'Av, Shavuos B'Tammuz and be yoitzer your neder. This is exactly what I argue lagabi Kaddish. If you took upon yourself to fast 10 days Ritzufim, consecutive days, or 40 days Ritzufim, and one of those days falls on a Tanas Tzibur, it's oileloi. But you can't choose a Tanas Tzibur to be Yaitzi or Neder. And in a similar way I say, if I'm saying Kaddish for Ploini, and then a parent passes away, or in the case of Reb Naftali Katz, the Smichas Chacham, I'm saying Kaddish for my father, and my mother passed away. So, do I need to say separate Kaddishim for my mother after I'll finish with my father? No. Same Kaddish will be for both. But if you're being paid to say Kaddish, you need to tell the person that's paying you, I want you to know that I'm saying Kaddish for 61 other people as well. So when I said Kaddish for several people, and when Ploini Almoini said Kaddish for 62 people, that was pure chesed. I don't take money for saying Kaddish, and neither he. In that case, I'm doing a chesed. But if somebody pays you to say Kaddish, and you want to take money to say for others, you need to notify these people. I'm saying Kaddish for your mace, but I want you to know I'm also saying Kaddish for another one, or another 2, or another 61. Because the Ikar Inyan is the Kavonas Alev. So I think when you direct your Kavonas, you're saying Kaddish for Pliny, it's different than taking out a list and just flying through the list and mentioning 62 names that you don't know and you don't care about and you know nothing about them, and they're just names. So I do think it's a difference, and therefore, you could say Kaddish for more than one person, but if you're being paid, you need to notify the ones that are paying you, that I want you to know I'm saying this very same Kaddish for other people. So I think Rav Moshe is right. Rav Moshe is right. It's different to say a Kaddish for one person than saying Kaddish for 60 people. But the Ranach and Smichas Chom are also right. If it's imposed on you, and so what am I supposed to do? Definitely, Nera Echod Nera Meya, Zakoran Echod Oilo Lakan Ulekan. So we spoke about today about the mitzvahs and the Avodas Hashem and the Kaddish we say for the deceased. And as I said, it's a huge schus and a huge mitzvah. So it is the least we could do for our loved ones that left us, and they are Ba'olam HaNeshamas, because they no longer could be Makayim mitzvahs. But we could do it for them. So today's Shiur is dedicated L'ilui Nishmas of my late wife, Pesiyente Basarav Rabbi Solarye, Shetanoch B'Sholom Al Mishkova, and she should be a Melitz Shosha for our entire family.